Let's go to Iraq now, the focus of the WikiLeaks. Mohammed Jamjoom is standing by from our bureau in Baghdad. Mohammed, you have finally some reaction there, at least from one Iraqi lawmaker.
John, yes, reaction is finally starting to trickle in from some Iraqi lawmakers. Now, just a short while ago, Ahmed Masari, who's a Sunni lawmaker here, a member of parliament with the Iraqi bloc, told CNN, "I haven't reviewed or seen the documents, but I've heard about them through media outlets. I'm not shocked and I'm not surprised, but it made me remember the agony of all the previous events that we lived through." Now, also, we spoke just a few minutes ago with Mahmoud Uthman. He's a Kurdish lawmaker here. He also said he wasn't surprised by these disclosures. He said they've known about this for a while. There have been suspicions for a while that the U.S. forces covered up abuses by Iraqi forces here, that there were secret prisons and torture chambers. This should be investigated. John?
This is as much about the past as it is about the future. What we heard in that news conference in the last hour is that there could now possibly be some legal action for wrongful death cases, at least in the UK. But there in Iraq, is there really any possibility that those Iraqis who were abused and detained and the families of those who were killed, do they have any legal recourse?
Well, John, the simple answer is no. Whenever we've spoken in the past to Iraqi citizens who have been involved in instances of where there are abuse allegations or torture allegations, or even just they were shot upon by forces, either Iraqi forces or U.S. forces, they have said to us that they have tried to initiate lawsuits, first with the U.S. government, but that always leads to dead ends, and that leads to a perpetual sense of frustration here among Iraqi civilians. They want their rights. They feel that they have been abused by all this warfare, that they are not secure. They've also told us that when they've tried to pursue legal recourse against the Iraqi government, they just can't do that. There is immunity in place here for U.S. officials that were here, U.S. Army members that were here, and also for the Iraqi government. It's always a dead end. That makes them really question if they are safe here, if the Iraqi government can protect them, and even if they're not protected, what they can do then in the end to try to help Iraqi citizens. John?
I guess when we look at some of the WikiLeaks and we're trying to work out who's responsible for what, the get-out-of-jail card free, if you like, for the United States is that by 2004 Iraq was a sovereign nation, which is why we have a FRAGO order, Fragmented Order 242, which is if there are abuses there that providing U.S. military personnel not involved, there will be no further action. It seems like a technicality. I'm wondering if, despite all that, do most Iraqis still hold the U.S. responsible anyway for what was going on between 2003 and 2009?
Oh, absolutely, John. The Iraqis we speak with say that had the U.S. not entered this country, occupied this country, that they would have been better off. I mean, that's the predominant sense here still. And it lends credence to that because of the fact that the government that is now working with the U.S. and that the U.S. tried to set up, that they're no further along as far as trying to reform this country, as far as trying to put in an infrastructure, as far as trying to really build this new democracy. The Iraqis that we speak with here are very frustrated by the fact that now it's been 7 months since the elections happened. The government is still no closer to forming. They don't know who the next prime minister will be. Many believe it will be Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. And all they see is squabbling among politicians here and parliamentarians. And for that, they really lay the blame at the feet of the U.S. John?
A lot's been said in the past about Iran's alleged involvement, especially in those early days after the U.S.-led invasion. What is Iran's involvement now?
What we've seen the past few years, Iran has continued to get more and more involved in Iraq and in its politics. I mean, you see this all the time, and you're seeing more and more lawmakers here and citizens questioning Iran's role here. You know, Iraqis we speak with say they want a strong and independent Iraq that is not meddled into by other neighboring countries. Now, just last week, we saw Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki visit Tehran. He was there because he was trying to shore up support among his backers. He has backers in Iran who are also supporting other Shiite politicians here in Iraq. But the Shiite coalition that Nouri al-Maliki is the leader of is Iranian-backed, has strong Iranian ties. Now, also in the past week, we've seen Ayad Allawi, the former prime minister here. He's the chief rival, the chief political opponent to Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki. He's come out and very strongly condemned Iran. He said that Iran is trying to wreak havoc in the region, that they should stop meddling in Iraq. So what we're seeing now is a lot of tension about the role that Iran is playing here, and many Iraqis are frustrated by that, and they feel that Iran should stop meddling in these internal affairs.